Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marina YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about routine maintenance carried out on a portable fire extinguisher. So let's discuss about this topic in detail. What are the routine maintenance that carried on a portable fire extinguisher? Okay, portable water fire extinguishers are there. So before examining, we have to ensure that no residual pressure in the hose and nose assembly. Okay, there should be no residual pressure in the hose and the nozzle assembly. After this, unscrew the head or valve assembly slightly so that any residual pressure escapes through that hole provided. So after this, we can unscrew the head and valve assembly slightly slowly so that any residual pressure escapes through the holes provided. Okay. Portable water fire extinguisher means before examining we have to ensure that no residual pressure in the hose and nozzle assembly. Unscrew the head and valve assembly slightly so that any residual pressure escapes through the holes provided. Examine the extinguisher body internally and externally for corrosion and damage. We have to examine the extinguisher body internally and externally for corrosion and damage. Check the weight of the gas cartridge and compare with the marked value, and note hydraulic test date of the cartridge and replace if it is more than 10 years old. We can check the weight of the gas cartridge and compare with the marked value, note the hydraulic test date of the cartridge and replace if it is more than 10 years old. Okay. Then examine and clean the vent holes in the cap. Examine nozzle, strainer and internal discharge tube for blockages and obstruction. Also check the operating mechanism. Examine the sealing washes and hose and replace them if the parts are in good condition. Top up or fill with indicator level of fresh water. In case of special solution like corrosion inhibitors or antifreeze, refill with recommended mixture. So we can examine and clean the vent holes in the cap. Examine nozzle, strainer and internal discharge tube for blockages and obstruction. Also check operating mechanism. Examine the sealing washes and hose and replace them if the parts are not in good condition. Top up or fill up with indicator level of fresh water. In case of special solution like corrosion inhibitors or antifreeze, fill with recommended mixture. So portable dry powder fire extinguisher, what are things we can do is extinguisher should be weighted. If there is more than 10% loss of powder, the extinguisher should be recharged. The annual inspection should be follow same procedure as described above for cartridge type water extinguisher. Portable dry powder fire extinguisher means extinguisher should be weighted. If there is more than 10% loss of powder, the extinguisher should be recharged. And inspection should be follow same procedure as described above for cartridge type water extinguisher. Before removing the dry powder, cap should be removed and powder examined for visual signs of caking lumps of foreign body. Before removing the dry powder, cap should be removed and powder examined for visual signs for caking lumps or foreign body. Cap should be then replaced and powder agitated by inverting and shaking the extinguisher. Cap should be replaced and powder agitated by inverting and shaking the extinguisher. Following this, if there is any sign of caking or foreign bodies, the charge should be discarded and extinguisher recharged. If there is any sign of caking or foreign bodies, the charge should be discharged and extinguisher recharged. Before removing the dry powder, cap should be removed and powder examined for visual signs of caking lumps or foreign bodies. So we have to ensure that the cap should be then replaced and powder agitated by inverting and shaking the extinguisher. Following this, we can check any sign of caking or foreign bodies. The charge should be discarded and extinguisher recharged. So portable CO2 fire extinguisher means CO2 fire extinguisher must be served ashore. So no inspections include external examination for signs of corrosion, weightage and examination of high pressure hose and discharge hole. If the weight is more than 10%, it should be reached. For the portable CO2 fire extinguisher, we need to say it must be serviced ashore. From the onboard we cannot do it because it is CO2 high pressure gas is there. Onboard inspection include only examination of an signs of corrosion. We can weight and examination of high pressure hose, the discharge horn. If the weight shown is less than 10%, then it should be recharged. We have to replace it if it is less than 10%. Why CO2 bottles are provided with dip tubes? Why CO2 bottles are provided with dip tubes? Okay. Have you ever thought that why CO2 bottles are provided with dip tubes? You have the answer here. So you may know that only 2/3 of the bottle is filled with liquid CO2. Rest is gaseous CO2. We know that only 2/3 of the bottle is filled with liquid CO2. Rest is gaseous CO2. So if the dip tube is not there, at the time of releasing gas, CO2 flows out first and the remaining liquid will try to get latent heat of vaporization from its surroundings, that is from other or outer liquid CO2 after giving away heat. That means if the dip tube is not there at the time of releasing the gases CO2, they will flow out first and the remaining liquid will try to get latent heat of vaporization from its surroundings, that is from other outer liquid. So after giving away heat, the outer liquid CO2 will freeze, forming dry ice which will remain inside bottle without releasing. So if you don't dip, it is the some percentage of CO2, it will not come out, they will remain freeze inside the bottle without getting released. If dip tube is there, only liquid is drawn during the release. So the liquid expands after the nozzle by absorbing latent heat from surroundings and assumes the gaseous state. This will prevent CO2 freezing and blocking the nozzle. If dip tube is there, only liquid is drawn during release. The liquid expands after the nozzle by absorbing latent heat from the surroundings atmosphere and assumes the gaseous state. This will prevent CO2 freezing and blocking the nozzle. So this is the reason why while using CO2 fire extinguisher, we are using inverted dip tube and all we are using. Okay. CO2 portable fire extinguishers on ship, their working, procedure to use and maintenance. CO2 portable fire extinguisher on ship. Okay. Their use is oil, electrical, gases, substance, mainly for class B fire, that means oil, electrical, gases, substance. Their working principle is smothering effect. Working principle, smothering effect. Their safety is safety pin will be there, control valve or safety valve and pressure relief valve device is there. Duration of work means 3 to 4 meter jet length for a 20 seconds. The use is oil, electrical, gas substance or class B fire. Working principle is smothering effect. Safety means for safety there will have safety pin, control valve or safety valve and pressure relief device. Duration of working is 3 to 4 meter length for a period of 20 seconds. Contain means CO2 should contain 4.5 kilogram at 53 bar pressure as vary as per weight and capacity. Body means solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Discharge hose should be non-conductive. Body means solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Discharge hose non-conductive. This fire extinguisher use the inhibition method to stop the fire. Fire extinguisher they are using inhibition method to stop the fire. They are always marked in black and they provide distinction to them. They are usually used in galley, bridge and engine room space. So this way fire extinguisher used in inhibition methods mainly to stop fire. They are always marked in black. Okay, content means CO2 4.5 kilogram at 53 bar pressure. They vary as per weight and capacity. Body means solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Discharge hose and non-conductive. They are usually used in galley, bridge and engine room space. This is the picture of carbon dioxide extinguisher. Okay, CO2 extinguisher, small size. Here top we can see operating lever, safety pin, control valve, pressure relief valve, valve spring, discharge tube, discharge horn, gases CO2 and liquid CO2. We know that liquid CO2 is 2/3 and gas CO2 only 1/3 is there. Okay. Procedure to use means we need to identify the fire. If it is class B fire, we can use CO2 fire extinguisher. So carry extinguisher nearby the fire, keep the extinguisher towards the fire, remove the safety pin, direct the hose at the base of the fire. If the fire is on electrical equipment, switch off current, careful of the direction of wind. Okay. Procedure to use means first we have to identify the type of fire. After confirm it is class B fire, we can carry out extinguisher nearby the fire, keep the extinguisher towards the fire, remove the safety pin, direct the hose at the base of the fire. If the fire is on the electrical equipment, switch off the current, careful of the direction of wind. Okay. DCP fire extinguishers on ship, they are working, procedure to use and maintenance. DCP means dry chemical powder used in fire extinguishers on ship, they are working, procedure to use and their maintenance. Okay, DCP, dry chemical powder. Their use is used for class A, B, C, D and electrical. So DCP, this can be used for extinguishing almost every fire. We can use this DCP, dry chemical powder. Their working principle is smothering effect. Smothering effect is their working principle. Safety means for the safety there is safety pin and relief valve. For safety purpose there is safety pin and relief valve. Duration of work means 3 to 4 meter jet length for a period of 20 seconds. So this also having 3 to 4 meter length for a jet period of 20 seconds. Okay. Used for almost all type of fire, that means class A, class B, class C, class D and electrical fire. Working principle is smothering effect. Safety pin and relief valve are there for safety. Duration of working is 3 to 4 meter length for a period of 20 seconds. It contains inner shell, that means CO2 60 mg, vary as per weight and capacity, and outer shell means 4.5 kg of DCP powder. So inside that dry chemical powder extinguisher, there will be having 60 milligram of CO2, that may vary as per weight and capacity, and outer shell will be having 4.5 kg of dry chemical powder. Dry chemical powder will be equal to sodium bicarbonate plus magnesium stearate. Dry chemical powder means sodium bicarbonate and magnesium stearate. Their body will be solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Okay. Procedure to use is, first we have to identify the fire and carry extinguishers nearby the fire. Keep extinguisher towards the fire. Remove the safety pin and strike the plunger to pierce the CO2 cartridge. So here means, first we have to identify the fire, carry extinguisher nearby the fire, keep extinguisher towards the fire, remove safety pin and strike the plunger to pierce the CO2 cartridge. Then CO2 will escape to the main shell and push out the powder in the form of FOG, in the form of fog. Okay. So means after this CO2 will, when the fire, when this alarm is when this extinguisher is activated, we only started, there will be CO2 will escape to the main shell and push out powder in the form of a fog. So using this, they will extinguish the fire. We have to ensure that we are careful of the direction of wind also. Maintenance means, for weekly maintenance, we can check hose outlet and clean. We can check the hose outlet and clean. Check safety pin, it is in whether good position or not. Check exterior for crack or any damage and clean it. Check the label are on the place. Check pressure needle on the green zone. So means maintenance weekly inspections are: check nose and outlet and clean, check hose outlet and clean it, check safety pin in position, check exterior for crack or any damage and clean it, check label are on place, check pressure needle on green zone. Monthly means check internally, check for choking of powder. It must be inverted once in a month to avoid choking. Weight of cylinder. Monthly means check internally, check for choking of powder. It must be inverted once in a month to avoid choking. Weight of cylinder. Yearly means 1/3 of total number of extinguishers should punt into operation for evaluation of satisfactory performance. Yearly maintenance means 1/3 of total number of extinguishers should punt into operation for evaluation of satisfactory performance. Okay. Portable fire extinguisher as per SOLAS requirement. Portable fire extinguisher as per SOLAS requirement. Okay. All the firefighting equipment, it should be approved by the organization. Portable fire extinguisher shall be situated ready to use and it should be easily available. Mainly in the accommodation, service space, control station shall be provided with the portable fire extinguisher of appropriate type and sufficient number to satisfaction of the administration. Okay, all the firefighting equipment is approved by the organization. Portable fire extinguisher shall be situated near to the use and easily available. Accommodation, service space and control station, they should be provided with portable fire extinguisher of appropriate type and in sufficient number to satisfaction of the administration. Each powder or carbon dioxide, these extinguishers shall have capacity of at least 5 kg and each foam extinguisher shall have capacity of at least 9 liter. Mass of portable fire extinguisher shall not exceed 23 kg and we have to ensure that total weight shall not be more than 23 kg and capacity of fluid shall not less than 9 liter and not more than 30.5 liter. Okay. We have to ensure that each powder of carbon dioxide extinguisher shall have capacity of at least 5 kg and each foam extinguisher shall have capacity of at least 9 liter and mass of portable fire extinguisher shall not exceed 23 kg. Total weight shall not be more than 23 kg and capacity of fluid shall not be less than 9 liter and shall not be more than 13.5 liter. Once the portable fire extinguisher intended for use in any space shall be stored near the entrance to the space, then CO2 portable fire extinguisher shall not be used in the accommodation. We have to ensure that the CO2 portable fire extinguisher shall not be used in the accommodation. Water fire extinguisher on ship, their working procedure to use and maintenance. Water fire extinguisher on ship, their working procedure to use and maintenance. Okay. Water fire extinguisher are all filled by water up to the mark inside, then pressurized with CO2. Water fire extinguisher means they are filled with water up to the mark and then pressurized by CO2. Extinguish the fire by cooling, that means removing heat from the fire triangle. Okay. Used for the carbonaceous type, mainly for type A fire. Safety means relief valve and safety pin. Okay. Relief hole and safety pin. Okay. Water fire extinguishers are filled by water up to safety mark, then they are pressurized by CO2. Extinguish the fire by cooling, that is by removing heat from the fire triangle. Used for carbonaceous type A fire, then that means class A fire. Then their safeties are there, means safety pin and relief hole. These are made of solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Cartridge contains CO2, that means 74 mg. It will differ as per weight and capacity of cylinder at 36 bar pressure. Water is 9 liter should be there for minimum. So the material is solid drawn steel, internally zinc coated. Cartridge contains CO2 74 milligram. It will differ as per weight and capacity of cylinder at 36 bar pressure, and weight is 9 liter, that should have minimum capacity of 9 liter. Duration of working should be 6 meter length and jet for 30 seconds. So it should have a duration, means 6 meter should be there for a period of 30 seconds, and duration is 90 seconds. Total duration. Here is the picture. Water will be there to a safety limit. Then after that there will be CO2 cartridge will be there, siphon tube will be there, hose, pressure gauge, safety pin, handle and rod. Okay. Procedure to use is we have to identify the fire. It is here class A fire. Carry an extinguisher nearby the fire. Keep extinguisher towards the fire. Remove safety pin and striker to pierce the CO2 cartridge. When pierce the pressure created on the upper parts of the container and water from the dip tube, it will pass and be thrown as a jet spray. So we have to ensure that procedure to use means identify the fire, carry an extinguisher nearby the fire, keep extinguisher towards the fire, remove safety pin and strike plunger to pierce the CO2 cartridge. When it will pierce, the pressure created on the upper part of the container and water from the dip tube will pass and be thrown by a jet spray. So maintenance means weekly maintenance, monthly maintenance, and yearly maintenance are there. So yearly maintenance means pressure test at 35 bar before recharging. We have to ensure that whether it is properly pressure test at 35 bar before recharging. Monthly inspection means we can check plunger, spring, gas cartridge, internal total check and weighing the cylinder. Monthly inspection means plunger, check plunger, spring, gas cartridge, internal, weighing the cylinder. Weekly inspection means check nozzle, relief hole, safety pin in position, check exterior for crack or any damage and clean, check the label are on place. Okay. The weekly maintenance are check nozzle, check relief hole, check safety pin in position, check exterior for crack or any damage and clean, check the label are on place and out. Mechanical foam extinguisher on ship. Their working procedure to use a maintenance. Mechanical foam extinguisher on ship. Okay. The construction of this type of extinguisher is same as that of CO2. Here means CO2 gas expel type water type extinguisher. Instead of water, here it contains foam, compound mixed in water in the ratio mentioned by the supplier. This gives smoothing effect to fire. They are used for volatile petroleum, paint, oil, type A, type B fire. Okay. This type of extinguisher means is same as CO2 gas expel type water tube extinguisher, mechanical foam. So instead of water, it contains foam, compound supplied with water in a ratio mentioned by supplier. This gives smoothing effect to fire, used for the volatile petroleum, paint, oil, type A, type B fire and all. Safeties are relief hole and safety pin. Construction means body solid drawn steel and internally zinc coated. Cartridge is CO2 74 milligram. It will be different as per weight and capacity cylinder at 36 bar pressure. Okay. Then AF triple F means 97% at triple F and water will be 3%. A triple F means aqueous film forming foam concentrate. Aqueous film forming foam concentrate. It should have a duration of 6 meter, jet length for 60 seconds. 6 meter jet length for a period of 60 seconds. Hydraulic pressure tested for a period of 5 years. Here this picture. Okay, foam solution, siphon tube, discharge tube, plunger, safety pin, cap assembly, handle, gas cartridge and all. Maintenance means weekly inspection. We can check the nozzle, relief hole, safety pin, it is in position, check exterior for any crack or any damage, check the label are on place. Monthly means check plunger, spring, gas cartridge, check internal, weigh the cylinder. We have to pressure test at 35 bar before recharging and all. Procedure, what are the use means it is mainly used for class A or class B fire. So we have to first identify the fire, carry extinguisher nearby the fire, keep extinguisher towards the fire, remove safety pin and strike the plunger to pierce CO2 cartridge. Do not allow foam to strike on surface of the burning fluid. In a valve, we will place the CO2 foam. Here mechanical foam. Direct the foam onto vertical valve so that foam runs down the side and blanket the liquid. Extinguish the fire. So we have to ensure that direct the foam to the vertical valve so that foam runs down the side and blanket the liquid, thus extinguish the fire. Thank you.